This follows a town in Massachusetts, Connecticut. Hi everyone, my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm coming to you with a book haul. I have definitely been buying some books. I've had some books gifted to me for Christmas, and I got some gift cards, went book shopping. There's a lot of places these books came from, but I need to tell you that I've got them. You can kind of see the stack over here. I need to haul these, tell you about them so that I can find places for them on the shelves. So let's dive in and see what books I've added to my physical TBR. Let's start with the chunky one, and that is Threadneedle by Kari Thomas. This is big, but it's right up my street, I think. I think it's going to give me those fairy tale, whimsical, magical vibes that you know I love. Anna's aunt has always warned her of the dangers of magic. However, she meets some friends who shows her the magical side of London, and they take her into this very magical world in London and kind of open the world of magic to Anna. There are magical shops, a secret library where the librarians feed off words, and clubs where revelers lose themselves in a haze of spells. But the longer Anna is in this world and the more she learns, she starts to wonder, is her aunt right? Is magic a gift or a curse? Next, I picked up Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is Nell's from Nell Diamond's book club book for January. So I wanted to grab this in the hopes that I could read this before the live show in February. I don't know if I will, but that is the plan that I have currently, is to try and get this done before the live show. This is a STEM romance. It follows Elsie. Elsie is a professor, but on the side tries to make extra money by being a fake girlfriend for various people who need kind of a date to a function or what have you. However, one of her best clients recommends his brother work with Elsie, and unfortunately, she already knows Jack. Jack actually ruined her mentor's career and kind of made him not respected in the science community. I don't know why. I don't know the details, but it sounds like an enemies to lovers situation. I do enjoy an Ali Hazelwood book from time to time. My favorite so far is Checkmate, but I am excited to try this as part of the book club. In theory, I'm not great at finishing books for book clubs on time unless I'm the one running the book club and therefore I have to. I'm going to try my best. Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I love Alex E. Harrow's writing. I've read The Spindle Splintered and really enjoyed it. This is a gothic fantasy. I do tend to like gothic books, so there's a few things about this that I know that I enjoy, so I have high hopes for this. Opal is in a very small town in Kentucky, and she wants to help her brother escape. She wants him to have a better life, and she wants to help him escape. The only thing that this town is really famous for is being the place where a famous author wrote their works. The author, though, has disappeared. I don't really know exactly what happened, but has disappeared since writing the book, and the book was called The Underland. Opal was obsessed with this book, read the book a lot, and now has got the chance to come work in the house where the author wrote the book and to make some money towards the fund to help her brother leave town and start his new life. Unfortunately, when she gets there, things are happening at this house. It's dark, it's sinister, and we follow that process. I have been seeing Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter everywhere. Right now, Kelsey and Katie are actually buddy reading this, and it took everything within me not to join them on this buddy read. I did not have time right now, but I really, really wanted to. This sounds so interesting. It follows a fictional true crime case, and I love that. There's 8 episodes, 1 killer, it's a family, there's a murder, and you have to try to solve it before the people in the book solve it. That's the premise. It sounds so interesting, and I'm going to be picking this up soon because I don't know how long I can wait to read this book. I don't think I can wait very long. Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica is now on the TBR. This one sounds so interesting, and I am just so interested to know what is going on in this book. People just keep disappearing. One woman disappears, then another woman and her 6-year-old daughter disappears, and then another disappears, and they all disappear, and no one knows where they went. Now, 11 years later, the first woman who disappeared has now returned, and everyone wants to know where she was, what has happened, what happened to her for 11 years, and no one is really prepared for the answer. Consider Me by Becca Mack is a book I picked up because Kelsey loved this book over the holiday season. It is a hockey romance, and that is really all I know about it, but I did pick it up because Kelsey liked it. I am a bit concerned about this book, though, because it is over 500 pages. And I am a firm believer that no romance needs to be over 500 pages. A fantasy romance, yes, because there's like world building and things happening. But a contemporary romance, I don't know of any contemporary romance that needs to be that big. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try and see if maybe this book can convince me otherwise. I hope so, because I absolutely adore this cover. This like pastel cover, gorgeous. Between Commitment and Betrayal by Shane Rose is a marriage of convenience. And I don't know who our main character is, actually. I don't know her name. It doesn't say on the back of the book, but it does say who she's marrying. So basically, her father's business partner will do anything for the empire they built together, but what he has to do is marry her. Why? I don't really know. But it says that there's like a stipulation on the conditions, and it's 1 year of fake marriage, 1 year of living together, 1 year of pretending I belong in his luxury lifestyle. So they only have to be married for a year. And if they are, they both get what they want out of it. She wants something, he wants something. And this is the stipulation in the will, is that they have to be married for a year. This is also a sports romance because the business partner is from the NFL. How much football plays into this, I don't know. The marriage of convenience was really what sold me. And then the sports romance part was like a secondary thing. But this is now heading onto the shelves. It Happened One Christmas is one of the few Christmas books that I did pick up that I didn't get to over the holiday season. I am really hoping to get to them next holiday season, and there are 2 in this pile that didn't happen. So they're in this haul. So this one follows Zoe. Yes, Zoe. Zoe loves Christmas and wants to do a movie showing her love of Christmas, kind of make her own Hallmark Christmas movie. She finally gets the chance. She goes to Quebec to make this movie, and the mayor will not approve her permits. The mayor's name is Ben, and you guessed it, he is the love interest in this book. So we've got a little bit of enemies to lovers going on. Set in Canada, love that. And I really did want to get to this, but it just didn't happen. So it's going on the TBR for next holiday season, or potentially something that might be coming in July. The other Christmas book I didn't get to was Lucy Score's The Christmas Fix. This is set in a town in Connecticut where a hurricane has just blown through. It's created a disaster. There's a lot of cleanup, a lot of construction that needs to be done. Houses need to be fixed, etc. So a renovation expert and TV show host, Catalina King, sounds like she kind of does like an HGTV type show, shows up to help fix up the town and instantly runs into single dad Noah, who needs to fix his house and also is kind of helping fix the town as well. I love a single dad romance, so this was very easy to pick up and add to the pile of books that I would like to read next holiday season. These next couple books were actually gifted to me by dear friends here on BookTube over Christmas. The first one was Mr. Perfect on Paper by Jean Meltzer. This is the only Jean Meltzer I still have to read. I've read The Matzo Ball, I've read Kissing Kosher, and this one I also need to read. This was gifted to me by my dear friend, Kelsey. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for this wonderful Christmas gift. I'm very excited to dive into this at some point next year. So in this book, we followed Dara. Dara is actually the owner and creator of a Jewish dating app called JMate, and technically knows how to get love because obviously runs a dating app, but doesn't have it herself. On a TV show with a news anchor, she kind of lists her checklist of the perfect guy. And the anchor, Chris, is like, why don't we make this a segment on our TV show, finding you this perfect guy? But of course, sparks fly between Dara and Chris, the news anchor, and we see their relationship as they go through this segment for the TV show. This next book was gifted to me by Bree from Four Paws Into Books for Christmas. Thank you, Bree. This is one of Bree's favorite books, and I'm very excited to try it this year, and that is Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler. This is the start of a trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, and I believe Bree has told me it's gay Star Wars. That's what Bree told me. Bree also put this on my 12 in 12 this year, so I'm definitely going to be reading this at some point, and I'm very glad to have a physical copy. I was waiting for Indigo's 40% off sale hardbacks after Christmas to pick up some of these chunky hardbacks, and now I own them, The Will of the Many being one of them. Danny from Danny Dabbles loved this book. It's dark academia, so like, we know I needed it. It's very chunky, but for 40% off, I knew I needed to add this to the TBR. This is one that even reading the synopsis doesn't really tell me much about the book, so I am going to refrain from trying to give you a synopsis of this book and just say that it's dark academia. Danny loved it, and I have very high hopes to love this myself. Hardbacks went on sale, and I picked up the second book in the Legendborn series, Bloodmark by Tracy Deonn. I read the first book last year, and I'm very excited to continue with the series. This is a King Arthur retelling, and I had a fabulous time with the first book, and I think I might even like the second book better. I've heard fantastic things about the second book, and I'm not going to rush the second book. I rushed the first book, regret that. I rushed it for a readathon, will not be rushing this one. It's chunky, it'd be hard to rush it anyway, but I want to take my time and really get to know more about this magic system and more about these characters that I got to meet in the first books. I want to get into this pretty soon though, because I read the first book in November, so I don't want to wait too long before I jump into Bloodmarked because the world is very intricate. There's a lot going on and it's in my head right now. And I feel like if I wait too much longer, I'm going to have to reread Legendborn, and I would rather just go right into Bloodmarked. I may reread both of them when the third book comes out, but I'm not a huge rereader. And I just kind of want to stay in the world while it's fresh in my brain. So Bloodmarked needs to get on a TBR very soon. If you watched Sprint Miss, you will know that I needed this book. Anyone who showed up in Sprint Miss reading The Kingdom of Sweets knew that I wanted this book. I had seen it in the store prior to Sprint Miss, but it was a $40 hardback, and I didn't really know if I needed to buy a $40 hardback, but then they went on sale for 40% off. Hence how it is here. This one, again, I'm going to hold for the holiday season because it is a dark fantasy retelling of the Nutcracker. So this is going to go on the shelves and kind of wait until the holiday season, but I'm excited to get to it when it happens because this is probably my most anticipated book that I have bought in this book haul. This sounds like everything that I love. Dark, retelling series, the Nutcracker, holiday feels, the vibes are in this book, and I'm very excited that I own this. We have another retelling here. We have One for the Enemy, which is Olivia Blake's retelling of Romeo and Juliet. I know almost nothing else about it. I knew it was Olivia Blake, who I love from reading the Atlas Six. I loved the Atlas Six, and it made me fall in love with Olivia Blake's writing. I also read a short story by Olivia Blake last year in These Hallowed Halls. It was my favorite story in the collection. So I just think I love Olivia Blake's writing. It really works for me. And this is a retelling, which we all know your girl loves a retelling. So here it is going on the TBR. And I would love to tell you more about the book, but that's really all I needed to know to purchase it. And the last book in this haul was Assistant to the Villain. When I went in for the 40% hardback sale, they only had one copy of the sprayed edges version of this book left. And it just felt like fate was saying, buy the book. This I know is fantasy romance, and I'm not a huge fantasy romance reader. I'm going to try to figure out what I like in fantasy romance this year, but from the synopsis, I think this might be it. I feel like this is something that I'm going to enjoy, so I wanted to grab it. The titles got me intrigued, and I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I think that's because there's not a ton of romance in the first book. I've heard that from most people, that I think the romance is going to be kind of overarching between multiple books. So I have high hopes that I will like this. I'm also a person that does tend to disagree with the masses a lot of times. So people not liking it, I always like to go in and give it a try myself unless there's a reason that like goes, oh yeah, no, I wouldn't like that. But nothing that anyone was saying really deterred me from picking this up, and the sprayed edges seemed like fate. So if I counted correctly, that is 16 books being added to the TBR. It's a bit of a chunky haul, but I haven't done a haul in a little while, and with the holidays, there's just books coming in. It's just the way it works. So that's okay. I don't mind. We'll read some of them this year. Hopefully we'll read all of them this year, but I've done reactions on book hauls before, and I just know that that's probably not going to happen. But in theory, we'll read most of these this year. What is your most recent book that you hauled? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe it's something that I've already picked up or something that maybe I need to add to the TBR. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.